Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show with local celebrity hosts Steve-O and Renee. Sit back each week while Steve-O and Renee educate you with live in-studio experts, such as lawyers, doctors, home improvement, and financial experts in their field. Call in and have your questions answered each week at 888-565-1470. Now, here is Steve-O and Renee with today's expert in their field.
And welcome. Good afternoon.
Wow. That was full of energy.
I know. I'm really feeling good about today's shows today.
That's good.
If you've just turned in for the first time, this is the Ask the Expert radio show where we do legal, financial, home improvement, which we've got today. Health. This is all kinds of educational information. My name is Steve-O, and I'm right here with the most beautiful woman in the world.
Well, thank you for that.
I wasn't going to say you.
Were you going to say Freddie? Mike.
My co-host, Renee.
What's happening?
How you doing?
I'm doing
my New York. How you doing?
How you doing?
We have the greatest experts on our show, and today we are going to talk about a very serious subject.
Especially here in South Florida, yes.
Especially here in South Florida. We are going to talk about mold removal. I mean, who knows when you have mold, right? So we got
the expert that's here knows.
From U.S. Mold. Now a friend of mine, because we've had lunch together and we've talked at each other and with each other.
No, he's a cool guy.
But this guy knows the mold removal business. In fact, while we had lunch, he must have gotten 50 phone calls while we had lunch. So
I thought you were going to tell me he's removing mold from the restaurant.
He was.
He never stops working.
It might be with the restaurant we went to. I'll have to tell him about that later. But let's welcome the owner, the president, the head kahuna, Mike Fidel.
From U.S. Mold.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me here today.
Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Bro, you are the man. I mean,
yes.
This is... Listen, you know what? When you go to the yellow pages, you are really taking your life in your own hands. Especially when
it's not by a recommendation.
Yes, especially when you think you might have mold. And if you have kids, then you really want to find out. And we got the best.
Yes, we do. So if you have a question for Mike Fidel, call us at the station at 888-565-1470. And Mike, let me start out by saying I was a homeowner, and I know that there's a lot of problems caused by mold and illnesses. So let's talk about that. So tell people why mold is so dangerous.
It's just a matter of what you keep your home set at as far as the secret to controlling a good indoor air quality is that's what we're talking about, is keeping your home dry. And keeping your home dry is keeping your relative humidity at 40-50%. And that's the secret.
So how do you do that in the rainy season, like hurricane season?
You keep your AC set 75 year-round and just leave it. You know, a lot of people depend on those humidistats.
Yes.
And they're supposed to kick in when the relative humidity gets too high. Well, 90% of the jobs that we do in some of these condos is from the home's faulty dehumidistats. So we recommend everybody get rid of them, throw them out.
They don't
just
work.
Bite the bullet and pay your AC bills. Leave it at 75 year-round.
Wow.
Well, 75 is not setting it low.
It's not. You know, the EPA and some of the other environmental agencies will tell you to put it at 77 or 78. That's too high for Florida.
It's too hot.
It's too hot.
Yes.
You know, and the humidity down here is just brutal. So, but what was your question?
About mold being dangerous.
Well, it's a matter of people's health. Depending on if you have immune-compromised health, HIVs, diabetes, depending on your health is depending on how mold will affect you. Not everybody's affected the same way by mold.
Right. Now, me moving from New York to Florida, all of a sudden I got asthma. So I know that mold can definitely affect asthma as well.
Yeah, but I'm not a doctor. And
no?
I'm not going to step on.
You're a doctor of mold.
I'm a doctor of mold.
You're the mold specialist. Well, I just want to tell everybody, if you want to watch today's show, go to wwnnradio.com. On the left-hand side, you'll see WWNN TV. Click on there, and voila, there we are.
And there's so much information, too,
Yes.
to learn. And you've got a lot of great information on your website.
Yeah, I've been at it for quite a while. My family's been in the environmental industry for about 30 years. My brother owns a big environmental company up in Detroit. He goes into Chrysler, Ford, and GM, cleans the paint booths, the smokestacks.
Oh, wow.
And I worked for him for about 10 years, and we developed a safety school. And I used to go into Chrysler, Ford, and GM and teach all these old-timers OSHA safety. And then we developed a mold class, and I used to travel around the world.
Is there mold
around
in
the country.
Detroit?
Oh, there's mold everywhere.
I'm
It's
joking, of
everywhere.
course.
Yeah, basements up north.
Yes, that's
basements
true.
up north got mold.
Yes,
Have
very
mold.
much so.
Down here, it's Florida, and the
prevalent.
biggest humidity and mold state in the country.
Oh, that's scary.
No, but it's true.
It's
Especially with all the moisture
Yeah.
and hurricane season.
One of the questions we get a lot is why has mold industry grown so much in the last 10 to 12 years? Homes are built tighter. The average American spends 90% of their lives indoors, whether it be at work, in the gym, in a restaurant.
Because it's too hot outside.
Well, it's not only that, but they got the internet. When we were kids.
Oh, he's saying
That's
we're
right.
lazy. That's what's happening.
Yeah, it's true. When we were kids, we were
we used to play outside.
till the dark.
Yes.
So it's
And now all the kids are inside on the computer.
I'm outside playing. I love the slide. Tell them about your website, because you got such great information on
it's
your website.
www.usmold.com.
Oh, that's easy.
Yes.
That
pretty
is
easy.
So
Yeah.
give us a little background on U.S. Mold. Tell us about your company and how you got started.
We got started in 2005, and before that, I was traveling around the country teaching handymen, construction workers, general contractors how to inspect and remediate mold. And from that, I came down here. I taught a class in 2004, and a girl called me because she came to the class and she hired me. She says, "Come take care of my mold division."
I'm glad that's what it's about.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Well,
I was getting nervous there.
It's a family show, Mike.
Yes. So anyway, I came down here in 2004 of August, started working for her, and then Jeannie, Francis, all the hurricanes hit. So I went out. U.S. Mold used to be called U.S. Mold Academy, and I used to go around and teach, and then I dropped the academy and opened up U.S. Mold, and we haven't looked back.
Because he doesn't
Wow.
have time to teach anymore.
Yeah.
You are a busy man.
Yeah, thank God we are. We've been busy.
What that means is he's good at what he does. That's what we look for. If they're busy, that means people are hiring him. They tell their friends about him.
Okay, so what does mold need in order to grow?
Moisture.
Right. So that's why this state is perfect for you.
Yeah, a moisture, a nutrient. Mold can grow on basically anything. Glass, obviously drywall, carpet. Like we do water damage too, emergency water damage. And the secret with that is get there right away.
Right.
Dry it out as fast as you can. Use a mildicide, put the equipment in, and get it dry.
So right now is your season.
This is our season. We're very busy. Doing water damage, doing mold removal. We do odor removal. Homes that have been shut down because of the bankruptcies and the foreclosures.
Yes.
They're just the banks
Covered.
close the HCs up, and
Right.
you walk in, and boom, you get hit with this smell, and then you have to have it tested by a state licensed assessor, and then it's usually elevated. And what we do, we go in, clean the ductworks, clean the ACs, fog it with a state-of-the-art chemical, and get rid of it, and HEPA-vac everything. It's a whole procedure, but we're good at what we do. We've been doing it quite a while.
Right. So how many different types of molds are there?
There's 100,000 different types of mold, and the one that comes to the light that's the most toxic is it's called Stachybotrys. Say that 10 times real fast.
What is it? No, I don't even know what that is. Stachybotrys?
Sounds like my old girlfriend.
Yeah.
She was stacked?
Built like a box.
That's the black mold. That's the medical field says that is a carcinogen.
Oh, I've
So
seen
that's
that
a
before.
serious
Really?
that's a serious mold. And Stachybotrys needs the continuous moisture, a dark area, and a nutrient, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's the one you got to be careful of. Whenever we see a lab result that shows Stachybotrys, that's a red flag.
So what happens? You have to move out of the house for you to clean it up?
Yep. Yeah. Well, 90% of the time when we're doing our work, we have the occupants leave.
See, I'm not used to mold because in New York, I don't think we had mold.
Basements.
We had rats. We didn't have mold. Really, no joke. I don't know. Since I moved here, that's all. I mean, I've seen it on the walls. I've actually seen like black. It looks like soot almost.
It comes in a circular form,
Yes.
and it can be all different colors. It's just depending on how much moisture's there, how long it's been growing. You know how long it takes for mold to grow? You're supposed to be asking me the expert. What am I asking you for?
I don't have the answer. I'm waiting for you to answer.
I got all these questions.
Listen, wait a second. I'm leaving. He can ask and answer his own questions.
Just give me 2 mics. I'll ask here and I answer here.
You can have my mic, Mike.
Just
You
put
like
different
that?
hats on.
You're funny.
Can you eyeball mold when you go into someone's house?
Yeah, you can
Whether
see
it's
it
on the glass
Yeah.
or no matter where it's at, you can see it.
Yeah, you know what I normally do is look up and you check the AC vents around the diffusers.
Right.
If there's dust buildup and dark colors, then usually that is a good indication that their coils are dirty. They haven't been cleaned in a while. They don't change their filters often enough.
So that creates mold as well.
You got to change your filters. You got to keep a good relative humidity, and as a homeowner, you should check all your water sources to control it. I'm talking about the biggest culprit is behind your refrigerator, the ice maker.
Really?
A lot of times the ice maker will leak, a real slow leak, and you don't even know it's happening.
Yeah, because it's behind the refrigerator.
Right.
You can't see it. So people should start pulling the refrigerators out.
I recommend doing it on at least once every 2 weeks and checking, because the
Wow.
problem is if it is a slow leak and it's been going on for quite a while, what happens is the insurance company won't cover a slow leak. Now, how the heck is a homeowner supposed to know they have a slow leak if it's inside the wall or if it is in the ice maker line?
Right.
And next thing you know, all the cabinets got to come out. You got to rip all the drywall
wow.
out, and then the homeowner might have to eat that whole cost, and that can be that can be costly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but you check all your water sources, washer dryer, underneath vanities, underneath your garbage disposal, your kitchen sink. That's the kind of stuff you want to do on a regular basis.
Who
to
would know
prevent.
this, though? Seriously. I mean, how would people know
That's why
this?
we have a show like this
Understood.
to educate everybody.
But that's pretty sad. I mean, it's like, if you're not checking, no wonder there's so much mold down here. Who would know? I mean, when's the last time we pulled our refrigerator out?
Never.
Okay.
You're going to be doing that tonight.
Absolutely. And what signs do you look for? Like when you come in, someone calls you up and they say, I think we've got mold. What signs, when you walk through the whole house, so you don't just walk through behind the refrigerator. You're looking at a lot of different things when you walk in.
But typically, is it black? I mean, when you see mold.
Mold can be, like I said, there's 100,000 different types of mold, and it can be green, orange, purple, black, white, fuzzy.
Yes, I've seen that as well.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different. It's just a matter of if it's toxic,
Right.
what the health effects are from it, and who was living in that environment. Like you can be in one room, you can be in another room. Can I see him?
No.
Everybody reacts different to mold. It's just a matter of you have immune compromised health, if you're affected by it or not. Like I said, not all mold is toxic, but obviously nobody wants to be sitting in the house
You don't want to
and
live
be
with
breathing
mold.
it.
No.
So we got to take care of it, get it right away, and what you look for is, as a homeowner, the other thing you can do is just use your senses, your nose, your eyes. Mold can make you lethargic.
So if you see me
tired.
going,
You do that all the time.
oh. Hey, listen, give everybody your phone number. We're going to go to break.
Okay.
Give everybody your phone number. And I have a question for you that's probably going to sound really weird. But
After break.
After break, give them your phone number.
This is Mike Fidel from U.S. Mold, 561-748-2223.
We'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
U.S. Mold are the area's mold and water damage experts, dedicated to removing and preventing further dangers of mold. It's important to keep your family and pets safe from the effects of mold building up in your home, and mold in your workplace is another point of concern. Damp areas, water leaks, excessive coughing, mildew, and musty odors are all signs of possible mold infestation. Don't delay. Call the professionals at U.S. Mold and rest easy knowing that your indoor air will be fit to breathe again. U.S. Mold offers the most comprehensive mold inspection, mold testing, mold removal, odor removal, and flood damage restoration services in South Florida, serving the Palm Beaches, Boca Raton, Delray Beach, Jupiter, Stewart, and surrounding areas. U.S. Mold has the knowledge and experience to effectively restore the indoor air quality of any size building, and they do so in an efficient, professional, and friendly way. Call U.S. Mold today at 561-748-2223 or visit them online at usmold.com.
Hi, I'm Steve-O with the Ask the Experts radio show. Join my co-host Renee and I every Friday as we interview some of the most prominent professionals in Palm Beach and Broward County. Each week we combine educational information on a variety of topics with a touch of humor and entertainment in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement so you can be more informed. We offer interviews on such topics as family law, foreclosure defense, estate planning, sleep apnea, roof repair, funeral pre-needs, mold and mildew, alcoholism addiction, and even a show that teaches you how to buy a new and used car from one of the top dealerships in South Florida. If you have a business and would like to be part of the Ask the Expert show, contact us at 954-336-3767. Position your company as an expert in your field. Call Ask the Experts radio show at 954-336-3767. Be sure to catch our show every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. or watch our show live at wwnnradio.com and click on the WWNN TV link. And we're back with the owner of U.S. Mold, Mike Fidel. You have like a little cute little saying you told me about one day. You got to tell everybody what this is.
We have a hook that people recognize us by, and it's called "There's Fungus Among Us."
I love it. I think that's great.
So I go to the doctor's office and they say, "What do you do?" I says, "Well, I do mold." So what is your hook? So what, and I give them a card, and on our card and everything.
I can't believe this.
Nothing like live radio.
Yeah, this is live radio, and that was who was that? Eminem. Anyway, there's fungus among us. So when you hear there's fungus among us, you'll think of U.S. Mold.
Well, tell me something.
I like that.
I do know some types of molds, and they're all Latin. Is there anything to that at all?
Yeah, there is. The reason why is that's one language that's not used today. And
because nobody understands
Nobody understands it, and that's one of the reasons why they use Aspergillus penicillium, Stachybotrys, Cotonium,
Let me tell you something. It still sounds bad, though.
Yeah,
I would move out.
You can go on forever.
Yes.
Now, you don't just do houses either.
No, we don't. We have a marine division. We've done yachts in the Bahamas. We've done commercial buildings from Nassau in the Bahamas, Paradise Island, all the way up to New Orleans after Katrina. Michigan. I feel like Johnny Cash. We've been everywhere, man.
So if you have mold on your boat or your yacht, then you go and inspect that and take care of that as well.
Yeah, we have to, when you have high humidity and you got moisture and you got an outdoor environment.
Well, if you're on a boat, I would think you have moisture, right?
Yeah, we've done yachts. We did a yacht here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm not in Fort Lauderdale, I'm in Boca. We did a yacht in Fort Lauderdale. It was like 170-foot.
Was that ours?
Yeah, we have a kayak or canoe.
We did your dinghy.
Yeah. That's about it.
You got to stop talking about my dinghy.
Talk about family show.
Yeah, right.
Settle down over there, cowboy.
Tell me, do you work in Broward and Palm Beach and Martin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you cover all counties.
Yep.
And you have two different offices?
No, our office is located in Jupiter.
Okay, so give everybody your address.
612. Well, they're not going to come there. What am I give my address for?
They're going to come there and see if you have mold.
They want to inspect your office.
I'm kidding you. We were at 612 North Orange Avenue, Suite A4, Jupiter, Florida.
Okay.
Now, there's one. Gosh, can you die from mold?
Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't go outside my medical field.
But you've been around this.
And I can't comment on a medical issue because I'm not a medical expert. So, but what we do tell people is when you have your house inspected for mold, you take your results to the doctor, and then he'll tell you if it's affecting your health.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So that way you don't ask an inspector or a mold remediator if it's affecting their health. pretty much they can tell you themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
But take the lab results to the doctor.
But this is really serious, though. That's the point I'm really trying to make.
Well, what's happened is since 2010, we had to be licensed. Florida government stepped in and says if you want to do mold removal and mold inspections, you got to have a state license. And you can't do the same.
That was my next question about inspection. You have to have a license.
You have to be state licensed, just like a general contractor. Yeah. It's a great law. At first, it hurt a lot because we did a lot of our business by inspecting and doing remediation. But now we can't inspect and do remediation on the same job. We have to outsource it to another inspection company. They'll inspect it, write a protocol, give it to us, and then we'll give them a cost for the remediation.
Right.
That's what we're good at. We're great at getting rid of it. I have a state-of-the-art chemical. We have the best equipment, all high-end, state-of-the-art dehumidifiers, HEPA air scrubbers, and my knowledge. I've been doing this for 20 years. We're pretty good at what we do.
No kidding.
Not to blow my own horn, but I got 30 minutes to tell you.
Now that's funny.
So, let's say someone feels like they might have mold. They call you.
They need to call Mike Fidella, U.S. Mold. That's what they need to do.
561-748-2223.
So you come out to their house. How long? When you come out there, how long does your inspection take?
If I'm doing the inspection, it's usually an hour to 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. But normally what we do now is we give it, if somebody wants an inspection done, we give them a couple referrals of state licensed mold assessment companies and let them do it. And then they'll call us back to give them the bid for the remediation, the cleanup. That's what we're good at. And that's our specialty. So if I do an inspection, I'm state licensed. We're state licensed to do mold inspections and mold remediation. But the remediation is where we shine.
So
anybody can inspect it.
Can the mold get into like the sheetrock? I mean, do you ever have to remove walls? Because I've seen that before.
The rule of thumb was, let's say you have a flood.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you didn't notice it for 2 or 3 days because mold needs, 24 to 48 hours to grow? All right? If it's been wet for longer than 24, 48 hours and you haven't attended to it right away, then you got a problem. So a rule of thumb with mold is you take 2 feet beyond the infested areas and just cut it out. There's some people they'll say, just white. Yeah.
No, it's like, this could be really costly, though.
Well, I mean, drywall's not that expensive.
Yeah, no, by the time you do everything.
Yeah, but you're better off to rip it out than to leave it and wipe it and try and dry it out that way. Because a lot of times, if it's way too wet, that's good English. If it's too wet,
it's Jupiter talk.
If it's been wet too long, then drywall's porous, right. and what's ever on the outside is 90% of the time it's on the inside of the gypsum. And the gypsum board will bleed through and bleed through. Oh, I'm wiping. I get calls all the time. People say, I've been wiping it off in my shower. I've been wiping it off on the drywall, but it keeps coming back. So that's because it's inside the wall.
Right.
It's inside the gypsum.
So,
but it's not. I want to say one thing too. Not every job is a red flag. I'm not a red flag person, and I'm not here to scare everybody because we've been living with mold for our whole lives. Remember, you used to walk in your grandma's house, you smell that odor. But as soon as you did,
I used to smell mothballs.
Yeah, that
was big
whiskey
back in New York.
My aunts and uncles.
Mothballs. That smell, you can't get rid of that smell. But let me talk about the snowbirds because I know a lot of snowbirds go back and forth, up north, and they put the hurricane shutters on here and they raise the air. So does that create mold?
What has happened over the years, especially the last couple of years, is the relative humidity in Florida and the rain has pretty much kind of elevated the last couple of years. And these the homeowners, the snowbirds, shut the place up with the hurricane shutters, and they make a perfect environment for mold. But there's one thing I want to bring up is Honeywell makes a central dehumidification system. You put it in line with your air conditioner. You can turn your AC up to 80.
Right.
You can shut the hurricane shutters up. The central dehumidification system will kick in and keep your house dry and give you an economical savings beyond any expectations. Forget the dehumidistats, get a central dehumidification system.
And you can set that up with a timer as well. Or is that-
No. It comes
How does
out
that work?
automatically. If the
Oh.
relative humidity gets over 40% or 50%, it kicks in and it starts drying the structure out, keeping it dry.
And it's made
That's
by
the point.
Honeywell,
That's-
so you know it's going to be
Yeah,
good.
and
Yes.
that's state of the art. They're a little costly, but they're worth it if you're trying. You'll save enough money in the long run.
Okay, so how long does it take, say, with a typical mold, how long does it take once you come in to
Remediate everything.
get rid of the mold?
Well, also, I'm sure it depends on what type of mold and how bad it is.
No,
No?
our standard job, no matter what size, we're done in 3 days.
Wow.
That's quick.
We're good at what we do. We have a state-of-the-art chemical. Let me tell you something real quick about our chemical. When you disturb mold, it gets airborne. What we do is the first thing we do, we go in and we put a big fog application throughout the entire house and the ductwork. Once we disturb the mold, it gets airborne, our chemical attacks it, knocks it right to the ground and kills it.
Wow.
And then we proceed to start to remove the drywall.
Because I've seen people go in with hazmat suits.
Oh, yeah,
to
you
go
know, yeah, you
no,
gotta
I'm just
wear-
saying, so this
yeah.
way you don't breathe that in.
Well, listen, I thought you'd have to be out of your house for 2 or 3 weeks. So you're saying 3 days?
Well, the
That's
standard.
only,
the
wait a second,
standard.
that's only if you use U.S. mold.
Thank you very much, Renee. I'll take a high five there, sister. Now you're talking. I've seen other jobs, and all I talk about is U.S. mold, and as how good we are. And we're done in 3 days. We have to recommend a clearance company to come in, or the homeowner get a clearance company to make sure that the work that we did is we got rid of all the mold.
Clearance being an inspection company.
Right. And then they give the homeowner a letter of clearance saying the home is mold-free, you're ready for reconstruction, and you can move back into your house.
Perfect.
Wow. This has been, it always goes by fast, doesn't it? Always goes by
Well,
fast.
give your phone number again
It's 561-748-2223.
and your website.
There's fungus among us.
Fungus among us. I love it.
Not if you have it.
www.usmold.com.
No, if you use Mike, you won't have it. See?
Listen, when I met Mike, you were working on a huge job. Remember it was
yep.
like a doctor's office or something?
Yes, yeah.
And it was right on, I think it backed up on a lake or a pond or something. So, listen, this is such an important, especially like you said, down here in South Florida, huge area. People are just not educated on it. And a show like this, we are going to let you know what you need to do as a consumer. And you know what? If someone comes and knocks on your door and tells you, let me go check for mold, tell me you already know someone. You've got U.S. mold now.
Well, they also have to be licensed as well, so you just don't want to let anybody in your house to check for mold.
The only one I'm going to let in is Mike now.
That's exactly it. That's what I'm saying.
So, and you do Broward, Palm Beach, and Martin County.
He covers it all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've been to the Bahamas, to New Orleans, to Michigan. We go everywhere.
That is really, really cool. So it's been really great today. We've got another show coming up in the next 30 minutes. Mike is going to be back with us again
Next month.
Next month. And so start
And we're going
getting
to talk about water damage restoration.
Yeah, I want to get more into
Yeah,
that because,
yeah.
man, you hear all these advertisements all the time about these
And
companies.
it's hurricane season, so this is important to find out about.
There's a tropical wave out there right now that they don't know where it's going to
Okay,
go.
I'm waving goodbye.
So anyway, stay tuned on our second half of our show. We have got, speaking of mold mildew, we have a law firm that specializes in homeowners association, one of the top law firms. So if you're part of an association or you're like the president of an association, we have the top law firm in Florida on with us on the second half. Mike, thanks for
Thanks,
coming on
Mike,
today.
for coming on.
Can't wait for him to come back again, man. He's got a good sense of humor. He's good at what he does.
He knows his mold.
U.S. mold.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
We'll
Thanks.
see you on the other side.
U.S. Mold are the area's mold and water damage experts, dedicated to removing and preventing further dangers of mold.